Ayo Mairo Ese. And of course, I have with me right now the man they call Rotus with Business Express. Morning, Rotus.
Good morning, Mario. It's still okay for me to call you.
It's still okay.
Good morning to you. Lagos, good morning to you as well, everybody that's out there.
All right.
Yes, indeed. Our guest will be with us in a second.
In a second.
Yes, Gbolahan Taiwo of Stanbic will be joining us in just a moment.
All right. So before he comes, let me tell you how to get involved or how to join the conversation this morning. Don't forget you can comment, send questions, and I'm sure Rotus and Gbolahan will do it justice. All right. The number to send your messages to on WhatsApp is 0809 4440981. We won't take calls on that number, just messages. And on Twitter, it's at Smooth981FM, hashtag Business Express 981. We're streaming live on YouTube.
Yes,
so
indeed.
go on YouTube, Smooth981, and check out what's happening in the studio.
Yes, indeed. We should consider taking calls sometime in the future. We should think about
in this your 10 minutes.
No, that's if we go to 30 minutes. All right, so Lagos, let's see now. The market, 3 days in a row now, the market has been in bearish territory, down by 0.45% yesterday. 28,966 points is where the all-share index closed. So far this month of May, the market is down by 0.66%. So far this year, the market is down by 7.84%. So, still nothing going on there. Let's see now what sectors did okay. I think it was just consumer goods that was in the positive territory. Let's say banking was down, industrial goods was down, insurance was down. So yeah, that's what we're seeing with the market. As far as gainers and losers, 21 gainers, 21 losers. Gold insurance was the top loser, down by 10%. Better Glass was our top gainer, up by 9.9%. So we move into our stories for the day. What are we looking at? PMI, the Purchasing Managers Index. Gbolahan is going to take us through that. That is Stanbic's PMI, because you know the CBN has its own PMI index. That's a survey that it carries up. But we're talking about Stanbic's. Then we'll go more in depth into the creative industry fund.
Yes.
Yeah, because
didn't go through yesterday.
There's something very interesting that I saw about this. So the CEO of Access Bank, he's part of the bankers committee that made this, discussed this fund that the CBN is going to disburse for the creative industry.
Yeah.
He threw out a number as to the number of jobs it was going to provide for the youth. And then I heard at your top of your news broadcast, you were talking about the LS ETF, the Lagos State Employment. Right, they signed an MOU with the
USADF, yeah.
And there's another figure for the number of jobs they want to create. So we're going to compare the two. But Gbolahan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Rotus.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. So Stanbic's PMI for April, I'm showing positive direction.
Yeah. It's looking like things are getting positive again.
Okay.
If we're going to look at the PMI and if those numbers are anything to go by. But I mean, I think what we have seen is, just the period leading to the election, there was a bit of slowdown.
Okay.
And we saw that in the trend. Even if you compare it to the CBN's PMI as well, it's a similar trend.
Right.
So just, the first December going into the first quarter of the year, you saw that slowdown. But I mean, our own expectations has always been that, after the elections is got done, at least businesses will be able to plan better.
Okay.
And then they will now be able to say, okay, we know the administration we're getting. At least is what we got the last time, so we know the kind of policies to expect.
Right.
We can now plan on capex, on whatever it is we need to do for the rest of the year. But interestingly, it seems it's improving faster than would have expected, right? And that just goes to show that. So typically, when you look at the PMI, it's supposed to kind of signal to you how the economic growth numbers will probably look like at the end of the day, right?
Okay.
And if this trend continues this way, then there is an indication that maybe to just come just in line with our expectations of 2.5% for the year.
All right. Whilst you're going on PMI, sorry, just to interrupt you, Sheka here on WhatsApp wants to know what PMI is, so that you're not.
Okay, cool. So we can continue the different. So Purchasing Managers.
So it's Purchasing Managers Index.
Right.
So it's just an index that shows. So how it goes is basically. So we have the organization that we work with, which is Market.
Okay.
So they basically go out, send questionnaires to a number of companies,
Okay.
Manufacturing companies, just to tell them, so did you employ more people this month? Did you do you have new orders this month? How
Okay.
much did your output improve by this month? So just to judge the trend of how business conditions are improving in the country. So I mean, anything above 50 is an improvement. Anything below 50 means recession technically, like
Right.
it's lower.
Okay.
So I mean, basically what the April number is telling us is that things are improving. We'll wait to see the GDP numbers. I know they're supposed to be released on the 20th of May.
Yeah,
So we'll see the
month,
Q1 GDP numbers. We'll see how it goes. But I mean, if this trend continues this way, then yeah, 2.5, 9.3% growth. You can say it's an improvement from where we were last year.
Yeah.
But the concern has always been the fact that when it comes to per capita output, so when compared to population growth, is not nearly enough.
Right.
So if you have the population growth that is faster than your GDP growth, then there are still concerns there about per capita. So I mean, for an economy like Nigeria with a population of close to 200 million people, you would expect that you see GDP numbers a lot higher.
Higher than that, yeah. Well, how much of any of this would you tie to oil prices? I mean, I guess there's still correlation. If oil prices are going up, then we can expect that to feed into any of this.
I mean, oil prices typically just help drive sentiment, right?
Okay.
So other than getting oil revenues and FX revenues that ultimately supports the CBN in terms of supporting that helps the CBN in terms of supporting the currency. That's how much goes into FX reserves. It also serves as a good sentiment driver for foreign portfolio investment. So when foreign portfolio investors continue to see the oil prices trending higher, they get a more positive feel about Nigeria because they know largely that most of our export is dependent on oil, and that's where most of the FX revenue will come. So they know that when it comes to FX liquidity, there might be little issues there. But yeah, oil prices have been good this year.
As long as Trump is still fighting Iran and Venezuela.
Yeah,
I've told people, pray for conflicts. That's the only way oil prices will continue to go.
So Trump is good for Nigeria.
Hey, and then there's some civil war or something brewing in Libya.
No, please, we are not praying for.
No, there's fighting already now. There are regional issues going on in Libya because of the leadership hole there. So
and then there are the OPEC cuts as well.
The OPEC cuts. So
but then to be honest, Trump doesn't want oil prices to go up.
Right, because Americans will pay more for fuel.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, Joke from Yaba has something to say on WhatsApp. She says, this market keeps flip-flopping. Is it possible to make significant profit in this type of market? Or is this how other markets are too? No steady rise in share price, just rising and falling marginally every other day.
Thank you, Joke. We've discussed the stock markets, continuously on the show. Well, I don't know. What do you think, Gbolahan?
I mean, I think a number of reasons, right? I just think that the Nigerian equity market, first thing you need to consider is that this is the riskiest asset class.
Right.
This is the market where when you put in your money, you can lose everything. When you compare it to like the FGN bonds or FGN bills, you are guaranteed, at least it's backed by the sovereign, right? You're guaranteed whether it's 14% or 15% you get at the end of the day. But here you can put it in and you lose everything.
Right.
But the point is, I think the Nigerian equity market and investors in Nigerian equity market, particularly the foreign investors who are the ones that really drive that market, have been dependent on the macros. To the extent that the macros is not looking exciting, it's not looking very great at the moment.
And just to help our listeners, macros is the macroeconomic.
The macroeconomic indicators.
Right.
To the extent that it's not looking very great at the moment, because the question is, what is the catalyst? What is going to make Nigeria start growing at 6%, 7% again? What is going to make business activities improve significantly, like we saw before the 2015 price crash.
Right.
And these are the companies that typically operate in this space. When you look at the consumer goods space, for instance, the consumer goods companies are the ones that you can really use to judge how well the economy is doing. I mean, I look at those results and they were not very good in Q1.
Q1,
yeah. Only Nestle really did well. Every other person very hardly did well for Q1. So that's not positive for investors. They're looking at what am I investing in? Even if I'm thinking on the 5-year, on the 10-year, when is this catalyst going to happen?
Right.
And I think the macroeconomic indicators have actually been the one that has been, holding the market back from rate. But yeah, MTN is coming. So
we'll see how that goes.
So when MTN comes, maybe you see some activity.
So Joke, maybe you should look at fixed income, and as far as where you want to put your funds. All right, thank you for that, Gbolahan. Okay, so let's move to this now. So we mentioned this at the end of yesterday's show, but really quickly, the Nigeria's creative industry is supposed to get a boost from the CBN. They're putting up 533 million naira at a 9% interest rate for people in fashion, IT, movies, and music to go and access these funds. Now, speaking of access, no pun intended, but the CEO of Access Bank, I just sort of, I want to get your thoughts on this. I want to combine this with the other story since I know we're running out of time. Yeah. So Herbert Wigwe, the group managing director, CEO of Access Bank, he said that this initiative is going to lead to employment of about 300,000 youths over 5 years as a result of this fund. So that's just to put that there. 533 million is saying the catalyst is going to lead to employment for 300,000 youths. We move to the ETF, the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, and the USADF, yeah?
Fund,
African Development Fund. Yeah. They signed an MOU for $10 million, yeah, where each of them are supposed to put up $2 million per year over the next 5 years or so. And that is supposed to support 15,000 youths, right? So that's 3.6 billion, right? For that state, just for Lagos, for 15,000 youths, as opposed to Herbert Wigwe saying 300,000 are going to be supported by just 533 million. I want to get your thoughts real quick on.
See, at the end of the day, it's easy to throw these numbers out there.
Right. I assumed so.
The point is, Nigeria is a population of almost 200 million people. To be honest, we don't have the real figures, but let's say almost 200 million people.
UN says 201 million at the last.
201. Okay, cool. Right. Growing at over 3%, you need to get these people employed. People are being torn out of schools every day and doing all these things. And there are a lot of people roaming the streets, can't get real jobs. And the truth is, we are seeing it in the GDP numbers, that activities are not growing. You're not seeing business activities get people employed. So, I mean, I understand the CBNs, I think this is one of the most developmental CBN we've had in a long time, trying to get funds through to critical sectors of the economy, just to be able to drive the economy one way or the other. And I guess at the end of the day, our hope is that these funds are channeled in the right direction, and these jobs that is expected to create would actually be created, and we can be better for it as a country at the end of the day.
All right, my own is the government. It only seems to be the government, at least on the creative industry side, putting up the funds for this. We need more private sector involvement in this as well.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to some comments before we wrap up the show this morning. Yinka is back. He says, you just mentioned that you can put all your money and lose everything. That's scary. Let's play football, bet the money, and at least it does you the honors of going up in flames.
You can lose everything when you bet it.
Tell them. Then he also says, Rotus, now you see the issues with numbers in Nigeria. After Rotus, you will call me a pessimist.
True, I understand, Yinka. I get he's talking about the population. Yinka hardly believes any figures that are thrown out. But Yinka, I get you.
Olufemi is asking now, please, at what price will MTN be introduced on the Nigerian Stock Exchange?
I can't predict that one. We'll have to see. Yeah, no one knows.
No one can tell you that, right? But I mean, I think there was a Bloomberg piece I saw yesterday that says it probably will be around 80 to 90. So this was a news item on Bloomberg that was saying, maybe to be around 80 to 90 naira. But to be honest, nobody knows. Only the advisors know the exact, or the guys that are working on the deal know the exact price at which it's going to. So it's never supposed to be known by the market.
Exactly, anyway. And it's a market, so it's a trade up and down. We'll see how it goes.
They think you're omniscient. Like you know everything when it has to do with business. There's no questions at you. How much is it going to be? Lego, thank you so much, Rotus. Thanks a lot, Gbolahan, for coming on the show this morning. We're back again tomorrow morning, and it's time for Tech
Friday. Yes, indeed.
All right, Lagos, we're still here. Smooth breakfast on Smooth 98.